Hey guys, I'm Hako and I'm going to show you everything that you need to set for the actor player. First of all, the size should be 100 100. We'll change this later on. We'll put an image of our of our main character. But for now, the only thing we really want to change is the physics. We want to set the density to 300, the friction to 3, the bounciness to 0, and fixed rotation. This is an important thing. We want to set it to false. Okay, and then later on when we add the circle, the dot, Mr. Dot, they are our main player. We want to change this to circle, but for now we'll leave it a rectangle to clarify. All right, we are going to ignore this rule because this is for another thing. What we want to do is create a constraint attribute in which we want to call it hold y, and the attribute we want to constrain is the player position y, and then we want to set it to game.displaySizeHeight divided by 4. Okay, so that's hold y. Sorry. Now controls. We want to do two different set of controls. Sorry, one for iPad and one for the computer. The computer is just the ones that we're going to use to test it on the computer, and the iPad is the one that we are going to use for the actual game. So let's first do the computer so we can check. We want to create two rules. We're gonna call them left and right. Left is going to read out as actor receives event a key. Then we press on keyword, which is left is down. We want to move to 180 degrees, so to the left, and relative to actor, move type addictive, and 500 of speed. Now the right is going to be exactly the same, except we change the bottom instead of left, we do right. There we go. So that's for the computer. For the iPad, we just want one rule in which we want to check for two attributes. So we want to go to, let me edit this to show you. We want to go to devices, touches, touch 1, X. And then we want to, if that is greater than or equal to this equation, which is 50 plus between parentheses self-sized width divided by 2. What we're doing is taking the size of the screen. So, sorry, the size of this actor, dividing it by 2, and then setting it to 50 plus. So what we're doing, we're taking this part. Takes the middle of this actor, which would be the middle, and then because we're on the left, we're gonna check for the left and the right. What we are doing here is that to make sure that the touch is not outside of the walls. So the walls that we created before are 50 of width. That's why we have 50 plus, because we want it to be more than 50. So yeah, that's that. And then this one is going to use the same. We're changing the same. We're checking for the same attribute, except now we want it to be less than in this equation. What we're doing is, because now we want to check for the right wall, we have to take the whole width of the display and minus it by 50, which is the width of the walls, and then minus self-sized width divided by 2. And then if those two conditions are true, we want to do self-position X to game.touches.touch 1. Okay, so those are the controls for the iPad. Now this is a new effect that I just figured out that would look really cool, and it's particles. They're down here, particles. They're almost at the bottom. Particles. So when you add them, you get like this menu. and you can change. So this is gonna be in spawn rate. We want to have 20 particles, and we want to have a particle startup time to 1 second, and the particle lifetime to 2 seconds. For the velocity, we want to do the emitter offset. We want to have it to 0. Then the direction, we want to have it down, because while the player is stationary, we want the particles to go down to create the effect that the player is moving upwards. So we don't want to check affected by gravity, and the speed should be 300. The size should be 25, but then we change the size to 5, and it should last 1 second. For the color, you can choose any two colors. I usually do red and blue because it goes through a big space, so it really looks like it's changing colors. And make sure you choose color changes too. The rotation, you don't have to. This is just because for fun. The initial rotation is 0, and then I set this to a random number around here. I just choose around here. So 300 will be good. Doesn't really matter. And set the image to don't set an image, no value. Okay, so that's basically it. Then this we want to create a rule that reads as actor receives event if it overlaps or collides with an actor of type obstacle. This actor, we still haven't made him, so just leave this blank for now, and then we'll add him later. Then if he collides with this actor, we want him to pause game to you lost. We still haven't created this scene either, but we'll do it soon. And then this thing is actually not necessary. I don't think we need it, but I'm just gonna leave it on because I can't really remember. So yeah, that's basically it. Let's check it out. Game. If I press preview, you can see how the if I touch it, it moves around, and the particles go to rotate and change color and change size. You can move it around, but you can also do it with arrows. And yeah, it can go more than left, or it can go more than right, as much as you push. So yeah, that's it. And then that rule that we created before is so that this happens. But I will show you. I'll show you that later. So yeah,